So, have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on in your head while you're asleep? I mean, really going on. Turns out it's not just powering down and resting. Nope. According to some amazing new science, your brain is actually running this super important heavy duty cleaning cycle every single night. And getting a handle on this process, well, it might just be one of the biggest keys we have to staying sharp for the long haul.
All right, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the brain's nightly cleanup. Then, we'll look at what happens when that system clogs up and really get into the critical sleep connection. We'll dive into what 19 different studies found, see how this all becomes a vicious cycle, and wrap up with how you can protect your brain's health.
Okay, first up, let's pull back the curtain on this incredible and kinda hidden process that's happening inside your skull night after night.
You know that feeling, right? You wake up after a solid night's sleep and your mind just feels clean, clear, ready to go. Well, that's not just in your head. I mean, it is, but it's not just a feeling. It's the end result of some serious work going on behind the scenes. So what's the secret?
Well, scientists call it the glymphatic system. The easiest way to think about it, it's literally your brain's dishwasher. See, all day long, as you're thinking, feeling, and moving, your brain cells produce all this metabolic gunk. And at night, the system fires up and flushes all of it out. We're talking about toxic proteins and other wastes that you really don't want hanging around. And get this, the system works best when you're in a deep, deep sleep.
So, that's the ideal situation. But what happens when the pipes get clogged? What happens when this nightly cleaning service just stops working efficiently?
Well, the path from there is pretty scary, actually. When the glymphatic system gets sluggish, that waste doesn't get cleared out. Instead, toxic proteins, you've probably heard of names like amyloid-beta and tau, they just start to pile up. And over months and years, that buildup is a huge risk factor for some really serious neurodegenerative diseases, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Okay, so this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter, the undeniable direct link between the quality of our sleep and how well our brain can take out its own trash.
This quote from the research really says it all. It's not just about logging hours in bed. It's about getting that deep, high-quality, slow-wave sleep. You know, the kind of sleep where it's really hard to wake you up. That's when the magic happens. During that phase, the space between your brain cells actually gets bigger, which lets the cleaning fluid flow through and do a much better job. It's simple, really. Deeper sleep means a cleaner brain.
So, this got scientists thinking. If this whole cleaning process is so tied to sleep, well, then it stands to reason that people with sleep problems might also have a clogged-up cleaning system, right? It seems like a logical next question, and they really wanted to find out for sure. And to get a really solid answer, they didn't just do one more little experiment. No, they went big. They did what's called a meta-analysis. Basically, a giant study made up of other studies.
They pulled together the data from 19 separate studies, which gave them a massive pool of nearly 3,000 people to look at. By combining all this information, they could see patterns that you'd never spot in a smaller study. It's a super powerful way to get to the truth.
And what they found was, wow. Just wow. Among the people who had signs of a poorly working glymphatic system, so their brain's dishwasher was on the fritz, a shocking 44.9% of them also had a sleep disorder. That is almost half.
Okay, but is that number, a big deal? Let's put it into context. In the general population, right, maybe 10 to 30% of people have some kind of sleep disorder. But for this group, the ones with the clogged-up brain cleaning system, it skyrockets to almost 45%. That's not just a small difference. That's a huge, flashing red light showing a powerful connection.
But here's where it gets even trickier. It's not just a one-way street where bad sleep causes a dirty brain. It's actually more of a dangerous, self-perpetuating loop. Think about it. Bad sleep means the cleanup crew can't do its job, so all this junk builds up. Okay, but then, and this is the kicker, that junk starts to damage the very parts of the brain that control your sleep. So poor sleep leads to a less clean brain, and a less clean brain makes it even harder to sleep well. Each problem just makes the other one worse.
So, after all this amazing science, what's the bottom line? What are we supposed to do with this information in our everyday lives?
This really changes the game for how we should think about sleep. It's not lazy, it's not a waste of time. It is active brain maintenance. This means that making quality sleep a priority isn't just a luxury, it's one of the most powerful things you can do to lower your risk of brain diseases down the road. It's a real, tangible investment in your future self.
And so that really leaves us with one final, very important question to ask yourself tonight. We make time for work, we make time for the gym, for our friends, but knowing what you know now about this crucial nightly cleaning cycle, are you really, truly giving your brain enough time to clean house?